Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast and our lesson 19, 3 to go of our Food School 2019 marathon. Everything you need to know to make this 2019 the healthiest, the fittest, your most impactful year yet. And let's just jump right into it. Today we are talking about not so commonly or often talked about things in nutrition, in health, and a little bit in fitness. So what are we not talking about and that impacts our health in a huge way? So I want to start with actually food and how a lot of you might still not really understand how huge it is, how it affects every single thing that you do, feel, say, experience in your life. And just hear me out. How you feel, how much energy you have, how well you perform mentally and physically, it all depends on biochemistry happening in your body on a moment-to-moment basis. And biochemistry is basically the total sum of chemical reactions that happen in your body all the time, and they never stop unless you're dead. And even when you're dead, they still continue. Those chemical reactions still happening, just at a different rate with a different purpose. But everything you do, how you perform depends on those chemical reactions, how they run, how well they run, how efficiently and effectively they run. And food, when you eat it, like any medicine, affects that biochemistry. Not just food, but actually everything you do, everything you expose yourself to, everything that comes into contact with you, not even physically, sometimes when you think about something and that affects your mood, that also changes your biochemistry. What do you think your mood or your energy are? They are different states of your biochemistry. It's proven that, for example, serotonin improves your mood, and that is a chemical that is in your body, and most of which is produced in your gut, by the way. So your healthy gut microbiome can actually and literally make you happy if you take care of it. So eating certain foods that promote happiness, quote unquote, of your gut will promote your happiness. And that doesn't go just to happiness, it goes to any emotion. Have you ever felt great when you had indigestion or diarrhea? Probably not. You probably, were not happy at that moment. And that just tells you that whatever happens in your gut, but then also whatever happens in your blood, whatever happens anywhere in your body, that affects you on some way. And food, whenever you eat it, what kinds of food you eat, all those different chemicals and different compounds in your food, they affect your biochemistry the most. Food is our most intimate connection with our external environment because we actually put that environment into us, and our body metabolizes it, absorbs it, makes it into parts of us. So it's not talked a lot still that food affects you that much. Take, for example, a dog or a cat. When you go to a clinic, if something goes wrong with your pet, with your cat or with your dog or any other animal, first thing that that veterinary, or how do you call it? I always forget how you call it. Animal doctor properly. Anyway, he will ask or she will ask about the food that you're feeding your pet. Because it's kind of like obvious for them that whatever you feed to your animal is going to affect how they feel, how they get sick, how well they run and jump, and how happy they're in their life. But when it comes to humans, sometimes like doctors look at you with a blank stare when you tell them that you feel bad or something is off your taste or something because you ate something bad. It's like humans are not affected by food. It's just fuel that passes through you, giving you just the calories, whereas it affects all the other animals, the whole animal kingdom. A little longer rant, but you get the idea. Food affects you, and you should care about what you put in your body and what you put on your plate, because that becomes part of you. That affects your biochemistry with every single bite you eat. And if you ingest a lot of junk with the food you eat, a lot of junk food, a lot of processed food that has some really questionable compounds, or just food that are not suited for human consumption, as Cameron Diaz said in her book, The Body Book, not everything that we can chew, swallow, and poop out is food, and not everything we should be eating. So just because it tastes okay, you can put it in your mouth, it doesn't kill you right away, doesn't mean it doesn't cause any long-term harm to your health that will kill you slowly and unnoticeably, leaving you wondering what's happening and why is it you're feeling worse and worse on a regular basis. So it might be the food, guys, might be the food. So number one. Number two, plastic, BPA. I don't know if you've heard about it, but in a lot of countries, BPA, though that kind of plastic that was used in a lot of containers before, not so much now, because they actually proved that even small amounts of BPA, or that kind of plastic that is usually used in containers, might be your shaker bottle for your gym, but also they actually use in a lot of countries, US included, in baby bottles and cans for your food, and just low quality containers where you store your food. So BPA, you want to avoid it as much as possible because your body has real hard time recycling it or getting out of your system, and that is actually a proven cancerogen. And again, it can be in so many items made of plastic that comes in contact with your food. And it's very important to check if something you use on a regular, on a daily basis has that BPA. And how you do that? Well, you look at the packaging of that food. Right now, I'm looking at my shaker bottle. And there should be a sign, kind of like triangle, made of arrows. So look for the triangle, and in the middle of it, there should be a number. If that number is not 1, 2, 4, or 5, then you have BPA, and you need to get rid of that container and get a new one that has that triangle, and it has 1, 2, 4, or 5 in the middle, or it says BPA 3, free, and it doesn't have any BPA to poison you slowly. Again, usually they don't teach you that stuff, but I highly recommend you, especially, if you have a kid and you use some baby bottles, check out that BPA sign doesn't have anything but 1, 2, 4, 5, or it should say BPA 3, because kids are especially vulnerable to exposure to different toxins at this young age. So, number 3, body care. A lot of people still are really not careful about what they put on their body. Skin is our biggest absorption organ. So whatever you put in your skin, it's gonna go right into you. Myself, if I use anything, any kind of soap or lotion that has some weird chemicals, I literally can feel it on my tongue instantaneously without putting it nowhere near my mouth. If I put it on my food, I'm going to feel it in my mouth. That's how bad that is. And unless you've done some serious cleaning, you won't be able to feel it like that, but it certainly will affect you. It will certainly affect your hormones, and if something messes up the way your hormones work, your endocrine system works, guys, you're going to be screwed with your health and you won't even know what hit you. So body care, your body literally eats what you put on your skin. So make sure you don't put any chemicals. Use organic body care. It's really worth it, just like organic food. Calories, guys. There is a lot of conversation right now, at least if you are into nutrition, into healthy eating, into any kinds of diets, into nutrition science, about calories. Do they matter? Are they different, or is it all the same? And should you care about calories? Well, guys, you shouldn't care really about calories. You should care about your health. You should care about your healthy weight, but calories have nothing to do with it, literally. Like, the amount of food you eat, yeah, it has to do with the amount of weight you carry, but not directly. What matters for your weight and your metabolic health and your longevity and how you perform mentally and physically, it is actual kinds of food you're eating, how free of pesticides, herbicides, and chemicals your food is, how whole and unprocessed that food is, how many vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and other nutrients your food has. When you eat it matters. What your body actually does with that food matters, because you and me, we can eat the same exact food and I'm gonna have no problems with it, and that can cause some indigestion, some weight gain, or other disasters in your body. So your body doesn't eat calories, your body eats foods. And when I talk to people, when I teach people something, I always tell them we can use calories for some purposes to measure our food, but understand that your body does not eat calories. Your body eats actual food, and how much energy you get from your foods, and what kind of energy and vitamins and minerals, and how all of that going to affect your metabolism and your long-term and short-term health and mental and physical performance depends, again, on the kinds of food, on how fast you eat, when you eat, how well that food suits your body, and how well it works for you. It's not, your body doesn't care about 1,000 or 2,000 calories. It's just one of the ways to measure the amount of food, but what matters much, much more is the actual kinds of food that you consume. So just understand that again, your body does not eat calories. And if you think that the way to lose weight or improve your health is count your calories, that is total bullshit. The way to improve your health and take control of your weight is to improve the quality of what you eat, and only after that, we already talked about that, can you think about calories or amount of food, or using any other method to measure the amount of good quality foods that you're consuming. Number 5, fatty fish, omega omega-3s, DHA, EPA. I talk a lot about fats, about fatty fish, about omega-3 fatty acids, about DHA and EPA fatty acids, and how they're essential for human health. There are a lot of theories that we developed our sophisticated brain because we had at some point access to those fatty acids, and they're still essential for our development. So, for example, if the mother doesn't receive omega-3 fatty acids, DHA, EPA, then the health of newborn child will be compromised, and if you as a child don't get those fatty acids in the most bioavailable form, DHA and EPA, then your mental and physical development also, but more so mental, will be compromised for life. That's how serious it is. But a lot of people don't know that, for example, if your fish was not wild and didn't have access to feed to seaweed that produces actual omega-3 fatty acid that our body and brain can use, if that fish didn't eat it, and usually that happens with farm raising fish on some weird food, then it means that that fish, that salmon, for example, will not have those fatty acids because the fish itself doesn't produce those fatty acids. Seaweed makes those fatty acids that when fish eats that seaweed, that's where it gets those omega-3 fatty acids from. So that's why you want to eat wild seafood like sardines, like herring, and if you're eating salmon, then it should be wild salmon. Otherwise, there is no point of eating that salmon if you're eating it some farm-raised, poor quality fish for omega-3s, but that fish will not have any omega-3, so what's the point? And then also another thing about omega-3 fatty acids, the fatty acids, DHA, EPA, that are essential for our brain health, you cannot get them from flax seeds or walnuts. You only can get them from marine sources, either algae or that seaweed that produces omega-3 fatty acids, or you can get them from fatty fish that eat that seaweed. You can also get from good quality supplements, but studies show that we do not absorb omega-3 fatty acids from our any kind of supplements, as well as as when we consume them from food, even though it does show some evidence of improvement, that if you give a person who doesn't have any access to food with omega-3s, some fatty fish supplement or algae supplement with omega-3s, then they do show improvements. But again, food is much better. Next one, fasting and when you eat. A lot of people still don't believe me until they try it, that when you eat is even more important than what you eat. And you heard me right, guys. When you eat is more important. Fasting is a crucial thing, is a crucial habit. Daily fasting, at least 12 hours without any kind of calories, any kind of food, any kind of nutrition, is crucial for our gut health, our digestive system, and just our overall health. And they also did experiments, and there's been a recent article in New York Times about people who were on a diet of 12-hour feeding window, meaning they were allowed to eat for 12 hours a day, and there was another group who was allowed to eat only 6 hours a day. The food was exactly the same, calories and everything was exactly the same, the quality of the diet, and people who were on 6-hour feeding window, they lost more weight, their insulin and blood glucose improved, their inflammation went down. So yeah, it sounds unbelievable, again, until you try it. So when you eat, for how long, how many hours a day you eat is even more important than what you actually eating during those hours. So start fasting. Gut microbiome, still not talked enough about, really. Understand that you have 10-to-1 gut microbes cells in your body. It means that they outnumber your human cells 10-to-1 or somewhere in that range. understand that if you consume something or put something on your skin or expose yourself to something like, for example, radiation that disturbs your gut microbiome, you're not going to be healthy, because there are 10 trillions of them that's going to affect your health on every single level. And again, if you didn't catch it in the beginning, 90% of your serotonin, or good feelings, happy feelings, is produced in your gut. And if your gut is not healthy because you're feeding it some junk, some chemicals, then guess what? You're not going to feel happy. And again, a lot of times you won't even understand why you're not happy. Very important point right now, guys. So listen carefully. What you need to know about high-fat diet and your cholesterol. Well implemented, healthy high-fat diet is amazing for your health, for managing your inflammation, for weight loss, for just overall health and energy levels, for improving your metabolic health. But a high-fat diet does increase your cholesterol. But that doesn't mean that that is a bad thing. Actually, all the recent studies show there is no correlation when you eat a healthy diet between the level of your cholesterol, the total amount of your cholesterol, and even LDL cholesterol. There is no correlation between that and heart disease. What you should be worried about, if your HDL goes low, if you have high triglycerides, and if you have A1C high, and just ask your doctor if you want to do the test. A1C show you the glucose level in your blood and how well your body manages it over a period of time. I believe it's 3 months that you can actually register what's been going on with your blood glucose in your insulin with that A1C test. So low HDL, high triglycerides, and high A1C, that means you're in trouble and you might indeed have heart attack. But high cholesterol, even LDL cholesterol, does not mean anything. And if you do eat high-fat diet like I do, your cholesterol will go up just because you're consuming more of that, and that's just what happens. But there is, again, no correlation between that and heart disease, and that's what all the recent science show, and doctors who continue self-education will tell you that. And the last but not least at all, sleep, guys. A lot of people I coach, people I talk to, they still think that there are special cases when it comes to sleep, that they can sleep 4 or 5 or sometimes even less hours and do just fine without no health consequences and no decrease in performance. They just think that they can outsmart everything and anything, and all the studies that's been done, especially last year. Read the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, PhD, Arianna Huffington, and Huffington Post, the creator, the founder of Huffington Post, wrote a book about that. Sleep is important and you cannot outsmart it. And as a human being, you need between 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. And it doesn't mean that you go to bed for 7 hours. No, you probably need to get to bed for 8 hours at least to give yourself time to fall asleep properly and actually start getting good quality deep sleep. So the quality of your sleep matters. The amount of your sleep matters. When you go to bed matters. How dark, quiet, and cool your room matters for the quality of your sleep. And just because you're unconscious doesn't mean your sleep quality is good. And how do you know it's not good? When you wake up, you have to use alarm, and you wake up, you feel like you want to sleep for some time more, for many hours more, or for some time more. Depends how severe you've been sleep depriving yourself. And what's even scarier, guys, it's when you don't sleep enough, you don't notice how your mental and physical performance declines unless you actually measure it when you're sleep deprived and when you're not. And scientists did those experiments on human beings, and without any, without any doubts, they can tell you every human being functions like that. When we are sleep deprived, even for one night, our inflammation increases, our mental and physical performance decreases, our creativity goes down, our well-being and feeling happy goes down. We eat more and we make more fat as a result of that, but also as a result of changes in our metabolism. Our blood glucose and insulin levels go up. So everything just doesn't work. And again, you will not be able to spot that unless somebody actually tests you when you're sleep deprived and when you're not. So just be aware of that. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you found this episode helpful and you'll actually use the advice that you got on this episode, because it is very important and that does affect you, every single one of you guys. And just because you think it doesn't change things. That it really doesn't. Just because you think you're bulletproof doesn't make you one. And when somebody takes a shot at you, you're still dead. You'll still die. So just remember about that. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. And just because you think you're all right and you're feeling okay, doesn't mean that that is the best you can feel, and doesn't mean that is actually good compared to even other people who do take care of themselves better than you do. And again, make this year the best year by taking the best care of yourself. Okay? So thank you for tuning in. We have 2 more episodes, 2 more days till 2019, your healthiest, fittest, most impactful year yet. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.